Okay.
All right, I'm Nick Mancini.
And I'm Daryl Summers.
We did our connections presentation on Socrates and Nelson Mandela and their time in jail.
Socrates was born in 469 BC and died in 399 BC. His father was a stonemason and his mother was a midwife. Socrates was a teacher of Plato, and many of Socrates' ideas are the cornerstone of Western philosophy. So he was also known as the father of Western philosophy. Nelson Mandela was born in 1918 and died in 2013. Mandela helped end the apartheid in South Africa, and this was a separation of blacks and whites within South Africa. From 1994 to 1999, Nelson Mandela was the president of South Africa. He's a world-renowned leader and was very widely respected.
Okay. We basically think that Nelson Mandela and Socrates both were both in government systems that were not ready for the progressive ideas that they had. Okay, both of these men were put into jail for what was thought to be ideas that were harmful to the society they were in. These progressive ideas, Mandela's was, no separation between blacks and whites. Socrates was just something the world wasn't ready for. I feel like he was too intelligent for his time. The government system that Nelson Mandela was dealing with said that he was conspiring to overthrow the government. I feel that it was more they put him in jail because they felt like he was a threat to what they were doing. Socrates was said to have been put on trial for not accepting the gods that were accepted by the government and corrupting the youth. When put on trial, he lost the vote count 280 to 220. Was sentenced to death because, from what I read in a couple different articles, wouldn't give a clear enough, of his own, because he was given the opportunity to choose his own punishment, and wouldn't give a clear punishment, so they decided to sentence him to death. We're not going to watch the video. It wasn't working for me earlier when I was going through
For 3 centuries, it took to be a
little background on Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela
spent going back to the prison
27 years of imprisonment on Robben Island. Some years after his release, the world's most famous political prisoner returned, together with Ahmed Kathrada, one of the ANC colleagues jailed with him. As Mr. Mandela visited his old cell, the memories of incarceration were stirred.
One of the things that is difficult for me to comprehend is that we spent it a long time here.
Mandela and his fellow prisoners worked here in the stone quarry every day, back-breaking work. They crushed rocks. The authorities hoped to crush their spirit.
Okay, these two men. These two men were both in prison, but they accepted it. Socrates did not understand his imprisonment and felt that he had done nothing wrong. As we learned in class, Socrates felt that if he was not aware that he had done something wrong, he shouldn't have been in prison for it. When given the opportunity to escape jail from Crete, Socrates chose to stay in prison and await his fate. Socrates didn't think it was unjust. Socrates believed it was unjust for him to leave prison. Mandela was abused in prison, and he spent his time in there graciously, just like Socrates.
Some connections we made between these. They both spent time in jail for what they believed in. They were both very peaceful about their situation in jail. Mandela he accepted his time without much objection, as did Socrates. Even when he was getting abused, he didn't put too much of a fuss up about it. So, both men had many years of their life taken away. Socrates because he was sentenced to death, and Mandela because he lost 27 years in prison. One main difference I actually found was that Socrates was not fully appreciated until after his death, and Mandela was able to see what his views and how they can change society. Conclusions that both men were leaders of their time. A new progressive way of thinking landed them in jail. I think the reason they were both okay with being in jail was because it was something they believed in. They were in jail because they believed. So that's why I think they were okay with it. And there's definitely a strong connection between these two great men.
Any questions?
Do you know if Mandela, in his writings or anywhere, ever mentioned Socrates or talked about him?
No, I didn't find anything there.
Just curious if there was a direct connection in that. Any other questions?
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.